I'm Heidi Hewitt here with Matt Murphy, and talking about tool palettes. I know, Matt, you're all about clicks and picks and saving, drawing with more efficiency.
Yeah.
And tool palettes clearly are a benefit for being able to reduce the number of clicks and picks. But what about drawing standards and improving consistency between your drawings? What are the ways that you can use tool palettes to do that?
Yeah, you know, most people think tool palettes are really just for blocks and hatch patterns. But you can actually use a tool palette to maintain all of your company and corporate standards for any objects that you have already created. Think about any type of object you've created, whether it's a line, an arc, or a circle, or even a dimension. That object has to be created on a specific layer with a certain color and a certain line type. The problem is most people wind up creating it on the wrong layer and have to change properties to fix it later. But as long as the object has been created correctly the first time, simply click on that object, drag it, and drop it onto the tool palette. And once it's on the palette, it retains the properties of how it was created. Therefore, the next time that you use it, it remembers all of the correct methods to place that object back in the file.
And just as an example, even say you had a drawing where maybe you had piping in it and you had a line. You're saying grab that line, drag it onto the palette. When you do that by default, it's going to call it a line on the palette. But could you make it more meaningful?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a good point. Because when you drag it onto the palette, it's going to come out with a little flyout, and it's simply going to be called line. But you can right-click on that tool that exists now on the palette, because we don't call it a line tool or a line anymore, it's simply called a line tool. We can right-click on that, change its properties, and give it a name that's more meaningful so the user knows exactly what that object is for.
So maybe call it HW piping or something like that.
Exactly.
Perfect. That is a huge time saver, and the CAD manager and project managers are going to appreciate that consistency.
Yeah, we're going to keep them happy too.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Matt.